As we enter an ordinary home, we find a number of ordinary things. Ordinary table, ordinary kitchen, ordinary cellar door. The only hint of anything that isn't quite so ordinary here can only be found when you open the door. And a sign is exposed that says, "Model Railroader at work. Enter at own risk." We descend the stairs into the cellar. We find a pool table with some supplies thrown here and there. An iLive stereo system with an iPhone inside. Alright, that's enough. I don't want a copyright infringement. We have a little TV, an Alienware laptop with some editing software, actually open now. And now we find the one thing that isn't quite so normal in every basement. A 9 by 7 foot model train layout, modeled after the island of Sodor, as you can tell by its inhabitants. Here we find Thomas puffing along next to Edward, and here comes Mavis with Scruffy. It took 3 years to design this layout, also 3 to get all the supplies needed, and only 2 days to completely build the track. Dryall is the biggest station on the island, with 3 tracks running through it. Several platform sections make 2 express coaches fit and a tender engine. This is second only to Knapford, which, when the Knapford Station kit by Bachman comes out this year, I will be building another platform just for that. This big space you see here is only because I have recently added an extra foot to the layout, and this wasn't there originally. As you can see, it ended here, and I extended it to here, an extra 12 inches, which are attached by these beams at the bottom. Quite a lot of work, I can tell you myself. The rest of it was done by somebody else. These 2 lines that wrap around will be extended by 1 Hornby double straight each on each side, along with those yards there, which will give Tim's sheds, which I've left a space for here, ample room to grow, and maybe a line that wraps around in. This part of the line has a section of grassland. It is still very much a work in progress. We find Terence plowing the fields with a chain to pull down some trees that have grown onto the line. And then we find oh, no, there's been an accident. Hold on. This is the docks section of the line. As you can see, it's very busy here. We have 3 tracks running through this as well as sidings where Salty sleeps, and 2 extra sidings where trucks and coaches are stored. There's Cranky, and next to him, the windmill by the sea. And here we find Toby's home, Osdale End. As we come back near the grassier side of the line, we find the 3rd line section has a branch off. Where does it lead? Well, if you follow it down, it leads not only to the yards, but to a number of other places as well. You follow down this side line, and you have a comfortable siding where a few engines can rest, along with that siding there, where Spencer is currently resting. Over here will take you into the yards, where a number of engines can sleep, and over here you can also go into a siding, or along the side track, which will soon be the home of Tidmouth Sheds. We come back out of that line and continue down past the docks. As you can see, there's another stretch out which goes down a double line where Henry and James are now sitting, past the signal box. But before that, we can see a shed where Bill and Ben and Mavis reside. Back down the line with Henry and James, we find it wraps around the yards where the breakdown crane is laid to rest. And then on the innermost line, we find the yard where Percy is shunting. This yard will be even bigger come the new track. Next, down there, we find a works shed along with the coaling plant where a number of engines stay during the night. You'll recognize a few familiar faces. We come out of that, we pass a small siding, and then we're back onto the main line, waiting for Thomas. You can see we've had a number of spills near the coaling plant, but I decided to leave this one. Because I like the way it looked on the track. The only reason all this track is not ballasted is because I'm currently moving to the west coast this summer, and I need to take the layout with me. Not the table, just the track. So, I haven't been able to do everything I wanted to with the layout. But rest assured, this summer, everything will be done. I have Atlas Power Track because Hornby power clips don't work in the U.S. Around down here, I have a shelf with where all the power clips go. They go in order from outer to inner. So 1 would control the outer line, 2 the second line, 3 the third, and then 4th the line where the yards are, as I'll show you now. The first line controls Mavis's track, so as you can see, she'll stop. And so on. So as you can see, each line is run independently, which is what I wanted from the beginning when I started designing the layout all those many years ago. As we head back to the yard, we find all these smiling faces looking back at us. And that's about it for the tour, and I hope you enjoyed viewing this layout at least as much as I enjoyed building it. And now I'll give you a special treat. I'm going to line each engine up, every one I have,